What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ty, and today, in this video, I want to discuss something within the realm of Hollywood, within the entire realm of the film industry. That being, why are so many movies getting delayed right now? I know that this has been popular for years, especially ever since the pandemic happened, understandably, but it was always because of COVID. But now, it seems like movies are still getting things changed when it comes to their release dates, whether they're being moved closer to the present or they're being pushed back either months or even years. It's pretty crazy how inconsistent this has been, but I want to dive into why this is going on. And not just the obvious reasons, but also some other reasons that not that I came up with, but that I've been thinking about as to why these studios are making all these big changes. So with that being said, let's dive into our first reason, which is a pretty obvious one and that you've probably heard about already. Alright, so if it's not clear enough, the first reason as to why all these movies are getting delayed, this isn't even an opinion, this is a fact, is because of the writer and actors strike. For those of you that don't know, writers and actors are on strike right now just because they don't feel like they're being compensated fairly, and since they're in a union, they're basically just going against the studios and trying to negotiate some type of deal to where they feel like they're getting paid fairly. Just to be clear, this isn't like the actors that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, like, we want more millions. They're just advocating for the people that are, middle class, like us, I guess you could say, working normal jobs. Because I'm pretty sure there's like 170,000 people in the union. So the people that are not getting paid as well, closer to the bottom, they want them to be paid more fairly. Of course, when your movies aren't being written and aren't being acted in, you can't make a movie, it's as simple as that. So at first, it was just the writer's strike. So yeah, movies were still being produced, actors were still filming, but nothing was being written. Now that there's also the actors' strike, movies aren't being promoted, movies aren't being filmed, there's just nothing going on. And of course, studios are trying to hold off as long as possible, but at a certain point, they just hit their breaking point and they're forced to just have to push back movies. I mean, I'm okay with this, obviously, because I want to make sure people are getting their money. I want them to be getting their checks, I don't want people to be getting scammed by large corporations like that. But at the same time, it does just suck, obviously, as fans, because a bunch of movies we really want to see are getting delayed. But there's bigger problems in the world than just having to see movies, that we want to see. We want these people to be fairly compensated. The thing is, though, something I've been seeing that I don't think some people understand, just because this strike is a couple months, that doesn't mean that in like 2 years from now, there's just going to be 3 months, like the same length as the strike, where there's just no movies being released. No, this is almost worse, because think about it. There are so many different films with different budgets, different time frames, different scales of whether they need a bunch of people working on them or not that many people, to where that's why a bunch of them are being shifted around. So things are getting very complicated. It's not as simple as, oh yeah, there's just going to be a gap in the year, in like 2 years of, yep, there's just no movies and then we're right back on track. No, things are getting completely mixed up because you need writers and you need actors. All right, now that we got like the objectively like factual reason that movies are getting delayed out of the way, I want to talk into maybe more like opinionated reasons as to why I feel movies are getting delayed, because I don't think it's just the strikes. I think it's also some other things. So let's just start off with the first one here. All right, so a reason that I also feel that movies are getting delayed outside of the strikes, like I said, is because I think there's genuinely a fear of flopping. So no matter how large of a franchise you are, no matter what actors you have in your movie, how much hype there is, there's going to be this risk that your movie is going to flop. We saw that with The Flash. The Flash had so much hype going into it. It had Michael Keaton. It was backed up by a big studio, with that being just DC and Warner Brothers as a whole. And it basically lost the most money out of any comic book movie ever. Indiana Jones comes out. It's a big franchise. It has Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It's backed by Disney. Huge franchise. And it loses a ton of money. Obviously, there's been winners recently, like Spider-Verse, Barbie just crossed $1 billion on the day I'm recording this, but studios are genuinely afraid to release their movies to an extent, because I think they're just afraid that they're going to lose a lot of money. So they might want to try to either push back the movie and rework on it, like, do reshoots, this or that, or maybe try to put a little bit more money into it so that they could market it more, and hopefully that'll like either make the risk of them breaking even higher, or obviously profiting, which is the goal. But we're in a pretty dark time when it comes to movies making money, because I feel like it's either hit or just absolute miss, one or the other. My third and final reason as to why I think a lot of these movies are just getting pushed back so far right now is honestly just because of a lack of creativity in Hollywood right now. A lot of movies that are bringing fresh new ideas like Barbie and Oppenheimer, yeah, Barbie is already an original IP, Oppenheimer is backed by Christopher Nolan, but they're both new, they're both inventive. Barbie was like this satirical, feminist comedy that it was great. It was fresh. We haven't really seen anything like that, at least recently, or at least that I can think of off the top of my head. Oppenheimer was an incredible take on a biopic, or a biopic. I don't know how to say it. But basically, even though obviously there's been a ton of movies on historical figures, this was such a unique film because of Christopher Nolan's touch, a creative behind the scenes, just like Greta Gerwig with Barbie. You've got movies like Indiana Jones. People are sick and tired of seeing this stuff. It's not like they had some great director behind there or like Steven Spielberg. No, it was obviously a cash grab, and people are starting to catch on to that. They want to see new ideas. I kind of want to plug a movie here really quick. Obviously, I'm not involved with it. In September, there's this new movie coming out, a sci-fi movie called The Creator. It looks like a new take on sci-fi. It's not backed up by any previously, existing franchises like Terminator or this. No, it's not connected to anything. It's a brand new idea straight from the guy who made Rogue One, which I think is one of the best Star Wars movies. That's the type of movie that even if I was a casual movie fan would get me excited. Like, whoa, what's this movie, The Creator? A new sci-fi movie that isn't connected to this property or this property. Let's just say I'm a casual moviegoer. If I didn't like the last Alien movie or something, because those have been pretty bad as of recently, and they make a new Alien film that's going to come out, why would I want to go see that if I didn't like the most recent one? That's what happened, like I said, with Indiana Jones. A lot of people didn't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So why would casual moviegoers go and see the new Indiana Jones, regardless of how much they love the series? They're not going to make money. These movies are costing so much, so obviously they're going to delay the films because either they're going to have to rewrite stuff or they're going to have to just figure something out. It's literally a shame, but it's like they literally are being forced to compete against just time itself, which, obviously is inevitable. So I don't know. I just don't know what's going on with Hollywood right now. Hopefully they get their stuff together. But it's just sad because movies like Spider-Verse are being pushed back. Movies like Kraven, not that I'm really dying to see Kraven, but I mean, yeah. It's pretty crazy that all these movies are being delayed in Hollywood right now. But I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to wait it out and hopefully things get better. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.